All right, let's dive into something really profound today. We're going to explore a kind of map for understanding ourselves, one that connects how we think, how we feel, and the very core of our being. This is really a path to uncovering who you truly are, underneath it all.
You know that feeling, right? That quiet little whisper that suggests, hey, there's got to be more to me than just my job, my to-do lists, and all these emotions that come and go. It's the sense that beneath the surface of our busy lives, there's a deeper, more authentic self just waiting. If you've ever felt that, then you are in exactly the right place.
And this is the map that can help guide us. The amazing thing about this framework is that it's not about adding new beliefs or trying to become someone you're not. It's about revealing what's already there. It's a path to waking up to who you truly are, way beyond the labels and the stories we've been telling ourselves our whole lives.
So how does this map actually work? Well, it rests on three foundational pillars that basically make up our entire human experience. You can think of it like a perfectly stable three-legged stool. Each leg is absolutely essential for balance, and you really need all three for the complete journey of transformation.
Okay, our first pillar is all about thinking. This is the path of wisdom. And what's so cool about it is that we use the power of our own mind to see beyond the mind. It all starts with these huge, profound questions like, who am I really? And from there, we develop what's called discriminative wisdom. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying we get really good at telling the difference between what's temporary, like a passing thought or a fleeting mood, and what's real, lasting, and true.
Next up, we have the pillar of feeling, which is the path of the heart. This one is all about working with our emotional energy. It's about consciously cultivating things like love, gratitude, and compassion, not just as nice ideas, but as these powerful forces that can actually soften the heart, dissolve our inner resistance, and connect us to a much deeper sense of trust and meaning in life.
And that brings us to our third pillar, being. This is the path of direct experience. This is where we learn to anchor ourselves right here, in the now. We practice just becoming a quiet, silent witness to our thoughts and feelings, watching them float by without getting swept away by the current. And it's in that inner silence, in that stillness, that we get to directly experience the deep peace of our true nature.
So it's super important to get this. These three pillars are not separate paths you have to choose from. No way. They work together, synergistically. Thinking gives you the clarity, the wisdom that illuminates the path ahead. Feeling opens your heart, providing the love that dissolves all the barriers in your way. And being, well, being gives you the presence to ground all of that in your real direct experience. When all three are working in harmony, that's when real, lasting transformation happens.
But listen, this whole journey, it's rarely a single aha moment. It's much more of a gradual unfolding, happening in these distinct stages, kind of like watching a flower slowly bloom. So let's take a look at how this process typically unfolds for people.
So, it often kicks off with what's called recognition. These are those brief but really powerful glimpses that there's more to you than your ego. Then, with practice, we move into familiarization, where those glimpses start happening more often. After that comes stabilization, which is huge. That's when you can stay centered and aware even when life throws you a curveball. And finally, there's abiding. This is the permanent shift, where you no longer see yourself as a limited little self, but as pure, open awareness itself. It's a journey from just getting a peek to making it your permanent home.
Of course, any journey this profound is going to have some tricky terrain, but the map is useful here too. It helps us spot the common obstacles and gives us really practical ways to navigate right through them.
One of the biggest challenges for almost everyone is mental restlessness. You know what I'm talking about, that constant inner chatter, when the mind just will not be quiet. When that happens, the solutions are wonderfully simple and direct. We can use our breath as an anchor to pull us back to the present moment. We can do some physical practice to ground all that chaotic energy. And sometimes, we just need to shift from thinking about all this stuff to actually doing the practice.
Now, here's a really subtle trap: getting stuck in spiritual seeking. It's that feeling that enlightenment is always just around the corner, in the next book, the next teacher, the next workshop. The huge shift happens when we finally realize that the constant searching is the obstacle. The practice then becomes so simple. Just be with what is, right here, right now. Because, and this is the big secret, what you're looking for was never out there to begin with.
And this brings us to one of the most beautiful and, honestly, paradoxical insights of this entire path, this delicate dance between our own effort and the mystery of grace.
Here's the thing. All the effort we put into our practice, the meditation, the self-inquiry, it doesn't actually create anything new.
All it does is clear away the clouds of our limiting beliefs and conditioned patterns, so we can finally see the sun that has always been shining. This whole journey isn't about becoming someone different or better. It's about finally recognizing the truth of who you have always been.
So, we end up at this incredibly simple realization. The journey home is just the discovery that you never actually left. The destination is right here. It's the awareness that is hearing these words, right now. So the ultimate question isn't about where you're going. It's simply about recognizing where you already are.